video demonstrating how you use the new Spellbinders Imperial Gold dies. These are the new dies that do 4 things. They cut, emboss, deboss and stencil. Plus, actually, I think it's 5 things because you can actually also letterpress with these as well. So I've picked up the gold labels 4 as the one I'm going to try. Now this is the first time that I've used them as well. I thought we'd try this all together. And you can see it's a really pretty design. So we're actually going to try and do everything. We're going to cut it. Well, I'm not going to stencil it, but I'm going to cut it, emboss it and deboss it. So we're going to do all those 3. So okay, so I've got this gorgeous stamp by Saturated Canary that I've coloured in using my brand new Copics, and I think that's come up really lovely. And I've this one is Nevea. I thought that this particular frame looks really nice as a shape around our Nevea here, so that's why I've picked this to cut. Okay, so what we need to do first of all before we get our grand caliber is I like to prep my dies. Because I not only use, when they're new, I not only use the, I use greaseproof paper, but I guess it's similar to wax paper. But I also like to use my anti-static bag on it because I think it just gives this sort of, it helps stop it sticking in the paper, just helps stop it staying stuck in the die. So I just pop that all on and it's very dusty. Now in the actual wallet of where the dies are, on the inside it gives you all the instructions for the different combinations of the sandwiches. Now you've got it here for the Grand Caliber, Cuttlebug, the Big Shot, Big Kick and the Spellbinders Wizard. So you've got lots of options. It also has it in all different languages as well. So obviously I've got the Grand Caliber. So the first thing I want to do is my cutting sandwich. So it sounds like it's pretty much the same as before. It does talk about a magnetic placement mat, but I don't remember I haven't got one of those, so let's see if it will work without it. Certainly on the demonstrations that I saw, I don't recall seeing them use the magnetic mats, so let's see if we can get it to work anyway. Put my little girl down. I'm going to put my piece of greaseproof down and then my die, and I'm thinking that the magnetic mat might be for just making sure that the die stays in position, because you've got to do quite a lot of things with it and it's going to be potentially moving. But I'm just going to stick this down using some low tack tape, and I need to make sure that it goes past the greaseproof paper, because you don't otherwise you're only sticking the it with the greaseproof paper and your design underneath hasn't been caught, so it will move. Okay, that should do it. Yep, that's nice and stuck, I think. And then I'm going to put my base plate on top. I know that sounds strange having the base plate on top. It's because for the purposes of making sure that you've got the die in the right place, I want to see my design. So I've got my design upwards, so my cutting side and embossing side needs to face down on my die, because otherwise it'll be the wrong way round and it won't cut into it. So that's why we put our cutting plate on the bottom. So then, as I say, I'm just going to put my base plate on top, and if it makes you feel happier you could just flip it over so your base plate's on the bottom, and then we're going to pop that through the Grand Caliber, and I'm just hoping that that's going to be enough. Yeah, that feels like it is anyway. And to be sure, because it's a detailed die, we're just going to run it back on itself, and the best thing for that is to not let it completely roll out, because you don't want it to move. Okay, and then pop that out, and then we want to move on to the next section, which is our embossing. Now I think from this what we would have done is debossed, and now we're going to emboss. So then we want a tan mat and our pink embossing plate and then run that through. And you see how that came off so nicely, there was no suction, and that's because of the anti-static bag. Okay, so I'm just going to peel my double-sided tape back so we can remove our die, and hopefully this will come out nice and easily because it's not got a huge amount of pieces that are to cut. What you need to do is just take one of the sort of pokey tool and just pop through the holes that are given to you in the die, and that helps release the actual element out of the die and just makes it a bit simpler. And then we can start to just gently pop that out. There we go. It's a new die, so it's always a little bit more difficult because it's new, but as they break in, as it were, it will get better. Okay. And actually, just before we look at that, we've got a beautiful kind of vellum-y piece here that we could actually use on something. So I'm going to keep that. I don't normally keep my scraps. Or the other thing you can do is actually keep it for your die, so next time you don't use another piece. But let's just have a look at our little lady here. I think she looks stunning, and look at the debossing as well as the embossing on that. Okay, so she looks absolutely gorgeous. You can see how that is embossed as well. So for you to put ink on your die beforehand on those, just rubbed it over, you'd have got a letterpress effect. So I think that looks so pretty. Okay, so getting a little bit of ink and then just very carefully, because we don't want a lot on there, just gently buffing into the edges here, so it really highlights that beautiful edge. Okay, so here's our finished die cut, and I think she looks absolutely gorgeous. So I hope you enjoyed. See you all again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye!